Thank you for listening to My Thoughts, a podcast with Jay. Here is this week's episode. Hey, did you miss me? I just want to start off by saying life has been doing some lifing. And I'm just here, glad to be here, blessed and highly favored. I was sitting here and I was like, you know what? Well, one, if you have not noticed, I did rebrand and I did change the name from My Thoughts, a podcast with Jay. Why? Because it was a lot to say, It was like a bunch of words. And this came to me today as I was recording, before I started recording earlier today. This name came to me and I was like, I kept saying, like, I want to start doing my podcast again. Like, I want to start doing my podcast again. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. And it just, the timing wasn't there, or I just felt like I had something to say, but then I would lose it, or it was like I was so busy. It was just so much happening. And to me, I was just like, how can I encourage others when I'm not encouraged myself? But then that was just an excuse. I was just making excuses. Like, little excuses became bigger excuses. And then literally today in my head, I was like, I need to record because I got some shit to say. And then I kept saying that, and I was like, I'm about to change my name. The podcast will now be named I Got Some Shit to Say. Possibly still a podcast by Jay. We'll tweet that out after I do more branding. I want to do some editing and finding what I really want it to be, but and I don't know if I want something to be before, like, listen up, I got some shit to say. When this is released, y'all gonna know the name. But at this moment, I we're brainstorming. And the first episode name also came to me in the same night. Don't tell you God be working. And the first episode's name, which you guys will know by the time you listen to this, is God is the funniest person I know. Like, no exaggeration. So I'm in this mood. Today's Thursday, July 25th. So all of this happened on the 24th. So I'm in this mood on the 23rd and the 24th, and I'm just like, I feel like things are going good and things are going bad and things are going good. It's like a ping pong game. You're just bouncing back and forth, like, and nobody's winning 100% because nobody, like, the good isn't outweighing the bad, but the bad also is not outweighing the good. And I had my therapy session with my therapist, Kayla. Shout out to her. I can't remember the last time I recorded an episode, so I'm not even gonna try to think about it. But I don't think I mentioned to you guys that I did find a new therapist when I turned 30. Actually, I believe I recorded a whole episode and I never posted it. But yes, so I got a new therapist when I turned 30. She's a little couple years younger than me, but she's black from Chicago. We relate, we get each other. That's my girl. Um, Fast forward to this particular session. And before she's mentioned it, and I'll say, like, oh, she's like, give yourself grace. You have great things going on. And I also always will comment and reflect back on my previous therapist. My girl Celia held me down, and got me to my 30s. But this particular time, I was just like, she was like, how are you doing? How was your week? And that was a similarity between both of them. They both always start like, okay, so how are you feeling? How was your week? What went down? And I love that time to reflect. But so she was like, how was your week? Like, how are you doing? And I was just like, I'm okay. Then I was like, no, I'm not. I don't know. I was like, I can't really tell. And we talked about a lot of things during the session. And like towards the end, I was like, and that's the thing, like, I'm having good things happen. I have these great things that are happening for me and doors are being open. But at the same time, I'm having other battles in my life that it's just like I can't get out of. Um, and granted, those battles have their underlying blessings of, oh, well, this could be happening or this would be a situation, but thankfully I'm in this situation. And it's just, gets confusing and overwhelming. And a lot of times I take my bad and let my bad outshine the good. And she was like, you have more. She's like, honestly, if you think about it, the one bad is the only thing you have bad right now. She was like, everything else is good. And then there are things that, you need to stand firmer with your boundaries on, or you need to stand up for yourself or speak on this or speak on that. But those are things that you have the option to change any day. So the bad is not really that bad. Like, it's not a great situation, but it's not something to dwell on. So after therapy, I went to the library and I was talking to my sister Imani, and I was just like, I need to get to a point where I'm doing things more that make me happy. And not that I wasn't. I was definitely doing things making me happy. I was hanging out with, the right group of friends. I was, going places, traveling, doing things, but it's like I'm still in the midst of it, like questioning or second guessing certain things. Like I recently went to Arizona for the July week, and wasn't the best trip. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. Um, and if you know, you know. But that was a situation where I feel like I should have had more control of the narrative of my storyline. I should have not went as long as I went, or should have not went at all, in all honesty. Glad I went, and a small caveat, glad that I went, but also I probably could have just saved my ass at home. Um, but it's just things that I'm like, okay, I can be changing how I am the change. I can change and direct things. I'm the producer, I'm the director, I'm the graphic designer, I'm the everything of my life. So I have the ability to do things that I want to do. I have the ability to change things that I want to say change, and I can't allow anyone else around me or any situations or any parts of life around me dictate who I am and what I want to do. Um, and I'm just like, talk to my sister, and I'm like, I really want to focus more so on my biggest thing is peace. I really always want to have peace in my life, and peace in some aspect that at the end of the night I can go to sleep with a calmer mind and heart, and just know I gave it my all. I tried my best. I did the best that I could do today. Let's do it again tomorrow. Let's do something better tomorrow. Like, let's make tomorrow better than the day before, but let the day before still be a very great day, you know? And granted, every day is not going to be perfect. Every day I won't have peace because you will have natural stressors in life, and just being an adult is fucking crazy, you know? Like, hands down, the craziest experience of my life is being an adult. I promise you, I kid you not. And I feel like everybody who is in this era with me from, like, 20 and up, shit, even younger, because these kids got a lot to deal with as well. But, just that period of like, what the F is going on? There's a lot going on, and we don't know how much we enjoy it's going on. We're kind of frazzled, but then it's also we're trying to make light of every situation, and we're trying to make the best of every situation we're in, and we're trying to again have the good outweigh the bad, and then at sometimes like the bad just swallows up the good, and it's just like um and this is just from talking to people, seeing people, social media, having real life conversations with people in person, and everybody seems to be going through something. So it's just like, even when you think you're finna get a breath, you can't get one. This is all different age ranges. This is all different races and genders. This is everybody is going through something, and we're all truly just trying to figure our shit out. Like, that's really it. Um, so I'm like, I really want to have peace. And I'm thinking of things like, because I'm in a mood, but I'm trying to pull myself out of this mood. So I'm like, what can I do, when I get in these moods? What can I do to make my days better or make me feel better and flip things around? One of the things that popped up in my mind was like, I need a motivation playlist. I love music, and I have like a bunch of playlists on Apple Music. Add me if you got Apple Music or whatever. Um, but I'll usually create like different playlists for different moods or different artists or like my favorite songs or stuff like that. And I was like, I named the new playlist I created a little motivation. Because I'm like, sometimes I need a little motivation. Sometimes I need to put on that perfect playlist that has all the right songs that I need, that either lifts my spirit or pushes me to work harder, or does whatever it does to motivate me in that time. And it's just a variety of different songs, different artists that like J. Cole, who writes certain things that motivates me. I even got Get It Sexy on there because sometimes you need to feel it. So I have even gospel songs on, like some of my favorite gospel songs that I listen to when I'm down. And I was like, I need to do this. And a lot of things that I do, I don't do just for me. I do because I'm like, what if somebody else needs this? I asked myself, like, what's your favorite song to motivate you when you know you need it? And she was just like, Rise Up from Andre Day. And I'm like, bet, I'm putting that on there. So it's like things I do for me, but it's like I'm also one of you that always thinking, always blessing and the flaw at the same time, but always thinking of other people and how I can help them in some way, shape, or form. So I'm like, even if nobody ever adds it, just like I say every single time, even if nobody ever hears my podcast, nobody ever listens, even if I'm only talking to the same two or three people every episode, I'm praying that I'm always making some type of impact. Because my goal in life is to make an impact on this world in the best way. Um, so I make the playlist. I'm like, cool. I'm adding certain rap songs, I'm adding certain gospel songs, R&B songs. My favorite artists that really get me in the mood. And it's more so not even just the song, like the things that are being said. A lot of Nipsey on there. Like it's great playlist. And I'm still building. Also, I'll never know like when is too many songs on a playlist. Like when I get to 500 songs, should I have stopped? Anyway, um, so I said that, then I was like, we seen walking up the library. There was like a class for, like adults coloring, and I was like, oh my god, I love to color. Like I need to order me, go on Amazon and order me a coloring book and some crayons, Crayola, I mean specifically, um, and that'll just do things that bring me happiness. And I'll say like in the past month or so, I've been hanging out with friends. Technically, they're not friends from high school, but friends that I did go to high school with, and just like a tight group of people, whatever. Um, we've been doing like a Taco Tuesday, and everybody gets together. We'll eat tacos, drink a little tequila, play cards, have a good time. I'm like, and that's great. I love that. I love to do that. And I was like, but I don't want to always have to feel like my good moments are with drinking. And I'm no alcoholic by far, but sometimes, and that, it's like it helps you when it helps you. But it's just like still, sometimes I don't want that to always be it. Like I want it to be so point where I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm not drinking tonight. You can't tell me I am. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. I want to be able to enjoy myself and have fun still without drinking, without any other substances. Even to the point of like eating bad food. Like I just want to be healthier for myself. Um, and I explained it to my therapist as well in our session. I was like, so if you follow me on other social medias, you'll know that I got this big ass bandage on my forehead because I went and got a lipoma removed from my forehead. Per Google, the definition is a lipoma is a tumor that is under your skin. Um, More times out of none, it's not really cancerous. They say it can come from like bumping your head on something and it not growing until forever later. I don't recall ever hitting my head on anything, but I'm a clumsy person. If you know, you know. So I probably have one time. I don't know. I just don't remember. But this bump popped up like probably 5 years ago, and it looked like a knot on my head. Some people, like, I want to say only two people, like my cousin and one of my friends, noticed it. Like, who hit you in your head? And I was just like, oh my God. And people was like, I've always seen it, but I didn't think other people noticed it. So then after a while, I was like, okay, I kind of don't want this knot on my head no more. Talked to my dermatologist about it. They did imaging for me. Then I had to set up an appointment with her again. Like after the image, she's like, oh, it's called a lipoma. You can get it removed if you want to, but you don't have to get it removed. It can be like, you can go to like a cosmetic surgeon and have them remove it to try to get less scarring, or you can just have like a dermatologist, surgeon, dermatologic. I'm not even gonna try they surgeons remove it. I did try to do a cosmetic doctor. The insurance wouldn't cover it because it was for cosmetic reasons, but of course, thankfully, with this same, my dermatologist did it. They were able to do it. Insurance covered by the grace of God. Um, so yeah, I made the appointment, and it took a while to get in, because it's specialty doctor or whatever. Um, so one, I didn't not take it serious. It was just kind of like, oh, I gotta go get this procedure done. I watched Wimple Papa videos, didn't think nothing of it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. They, numbed me up, took this stuff out, zipped me back up. Got the results. It's no cancer at all, which is great, which a doctor already said he probably figured. But now I'm just in the healing process of that. I said all of that to say that I did this because this is something that I wanted to do for myself. Um, I feel like it didn't give me an insecurity, but it kind of did a little bit, in a sense. Like, oh, just because only two people said something don't mean other people didn't notice. And it's like, oh, you got this big lump on your head. What's going on? Are you okay? And I had told myself about like, from head to toe, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, I wanted to be better. I wanted to be healthier. I wanted to be myself. I wanted to, um, smile brighter, feel lighter, walk lighter. I want to just, like be on a better health regimen. I want to eat healthier. I want to go to the gym. I want to become a gym girly. I want to be fit. Um, I had some issues from like December up until my birthday. Um, actually past that because I had to go to physical therapy with my foot and my leg were like bothering me a lot. So I was going to the doctor a lot to get my foot looked at. Ended up getting like some steroid shots in that. I want to get braces because I always said I was going to get them all my life. Never got them. Didn't have the money to get them. Insurance wouldn't cover it. Then I did get insurance that would cover it. Ended up not working there anymore. Um, but I was just like, from head to toe, I just want to be a better version of me. I want to be the me that I've always embodied me to be. Envisioned myself to be. And my goal is to have all of this done by the time I'm 32. Because apparently time just won't slow down. And in 6 months, I'll be 31. So I don't want to give myself that tight of a thing, especially because, there's no way braces will work in 6 months. There's no way, I mean, I could definitely lose weight and get healthy in 6 months, but it's still like, a lifestyle change. I want to do a lifestyle change. And I know that I procrastinate a lot and I'm not as tough on myself as I should be, but I want to get into that point of me taking myself serious. And I told that to my therapist and I was like, and that, that started with me getting the lipoma removed. The next step will be me, finding insurance that'll cover my braces getting done. Me starting going to the gym, me getting, accountability partners, me eating healthier, even starting like this week, I did no pork for 2 weeks. I'm starting today not eating after 11 p.m., which people be like, oh, that's easy, but I am a person that sleeps in. So when I sleep in, I don't wake up early at all, in no way, shape, or form. So like I've never been a morning person ever. I used to hate going to school because I did not understand why we were tortured and had to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Never made sense. I purposely try not to work any jobs so I have to work before any earlier than 9:30 in the morning. I've had to work some jobs like that, but not my preference. So in the sense of I might not wake up until like 10:30, between 10:30 and 12. I don't eat because I don't be hungry when I first wake up unless I don't eat the night before. I don't eat until probably 2 or 3 o'clock. That'll be my breakfast, lunch, and then I'll eat again probably like 7, 8, and then I'm hungry again hours later because I haven't eaten full meals or whatever. So I want to cap that off. And I was doing it, and that's why I said there. You know how they say it takes 21 days to create a habit. I just got to take those habits serious. Well, create and break a habit. Create a routine, break a habit. I think that's how it goes. If it don't, that won't sound good. So I, at one point, was not eating after 10 o'clock. For like a month, I did not eat pork. I don't eat pork very often, but when I do because I love a good pork chop. I love some good bacon. And I love ham. So it's just like, okay, well, no, you can't have that. I just have to be stricter with myself. And my main motto, I guess, for 30 is to take myself more seriously and do things that I actually want to do and stop, doubting myself, stop letting myself off easy, stop saying, oh, it's okay to procrastinate. Like, okay, there's things you've been wanting to do since before you turn 30. Now you're here and you're still in a situation or not where you want to be And even if you made progress to it, it's still not where you want to be. So what are you going to do? How do you change it? Let's stand up, let's take ourselves serious and get in the booth, do what needs to be done. So, and that also comes to me and my podcast. Kept saying I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And I'm like, that's something I missed, and I wasn't doing it. All of my businesses, all of my endeavors, there are things that I wanted to do that I have not done. My book, I released my book in February. Pause for applause. Okay, thank you. I released my book, What It Feels to Be Loved, and then these are all love poems. I have been doing open mics. I've done 2 or 3 open mics. I've done speaking engagements. I've been promoting my book. I've sold copies online through Amazon. I've sold hard copies. I've been wanting to put together a book signing, which that is now in the process of getting that together, finding a location. I got a date set. So, just doing things like that. Taking myself serious, taking my craft serious, because in all honesty, people can't take you serious if you don't take yourself serious. So if people don't see you out there grinding and working hard and doing things for yourself, they're not gonna, be like, oh, okay, well, I need to also support this person, or I need to, be there for that person, or whatever like that. Like I know a lot of people who are entrepreneurs. I know a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people in different fields and different bodies of work that they do, and I admire the hustle. Like all these people are like, a lot of the people are under 40, and the hustle is amazing. And it's just like, even down to like social media, like posting so much content. And it's just like, at one point I was like, it's so overwhelming. Why do they post so much? Like, you don't have to post every single day. And then I was like, oh wait, you do. You need to get yourself out there. You have to get your name out there. People have to know who you are. And if you don't take yourself serious, nobody else will. If you don't push your book, nobody else is going to be like, oh, maybe I do need to read this. Or if you don't push this event, or you don't push this, you don't push that. People never find out what it is that you're so great at, that you feel as though you have this amazing talent and you're so talented at doing something, because they don't think, you don't care about it, so why should they? So I got into the point where I'm like, okay, well, it's okay to post more. Especially when I started seeing like my insights on like Instagram, my engagements, and I was getting like um up to like 8,000 views in the last 30 days on my profile. And I really wasn't posting on that, but it was just like from things that I was reposting, different stories I was reposting, me posting more reels, me posting more relatable things. That was like basically just my day-to-day life. And it was like, oh, okay, this is relatable. People are getting this, people are seeing this, my food reviews and stuff. Like, people are, feeling it. And then it's like, when I fall short and I stop doing it, then people are like, well, what are you doing? Just like the podcast. I'm posting, I got a podcast, and I'm posting it every day. And I'm posting all about it, and I'm dropping episodes every week, and I'm making time for it. And then it stalls. And then I give a second season, and then it stalls. And it's like, okay, so do you take your podcast seriously? Is this something you care about? Is it something you want us to listen to? Like, how do you keep that audience engaged if you're not doing your part? And I'm tired of that. I'm tired of not doing my part in my own life. I want to do my part, because, like, faith without work is dead. I can always say, I'm praying to God about it. I'm praying for it to work, and I'm praying for this, and I have faith that it'll change. I have faith, but I'm not doing anything to make it happen. I'm not setting myself up for my life to change because I'm not doing anything. And then I start getting uncomfortable in certain situations where I'm like, okay, well, I'm too comfortable here. Let me do something different. Me doing spoken word and actually releasing my book was one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever done. I've never been that vulnerable to show people any of my poetry. Only 2 to 3 people have ever like read majority of the poems that are in my book. I put my heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears into my book, from the editing, from the binding of the book, like every detail, besides the physical making of the book, every detail I did myself. I did the editing. I made, I wrote the manuscript. I did the graphics on the front and the back of the book. I created the book cover. I did every single thing. Every little detail is me. So it's like that's my love child. That's my baby. That makes me happy. That makes me proud of not only the creation of it, but what's inside. Every single poem inside of that book, I wrote myself. And I wrote in different points of my life. I wrote over 10, 12 year time span where I'm going through these relationships as a teenager and then relationships as like a not middle-aged adult, so like teenager from like teenage to then my 20s to, you know, early 20s to end of my 20s. And in these relationships, I'm getting to know these people, but I'm getting to know myself even more. And that's all what my book is about. It's just about love and the paths that it can take you down and the paths that you go down that you didn't expect to go down. And you just become yourself while dating someone else. Or sometimes you lose yourself, but that's okay. At the end of the book, it's about self-love and how to learn how to love yourself again and how not to give up on yourself and to not, feel as though you put so much into a relationship and now you have nothing left over. Like that book was the most vulnerable thing I've ever done, to be 100% open with all of my feelings and to get the reactions that I got. Like my grandma called me and it was just like one of the best conversations we've probably ever had in my life. Just like, I see you. It was like I would have never known you went through any of these things, or I would have never known you love like this, or you've been in this relationship that you had with this certain particular person, and that you just felt love. And she literally was like, maybe I've never had love before because I've never experienced the things that you wrote about in this poem. And granted, all of my poems are based on true story. None of my poems are just written just to be written. Everything was based on true emotion, true feeling, a true relationship, something that actually happened in my life. They are not all based on one relationship. There are multiple relationships, situationships, different people in that point in time where I just feel like I needed to write. But it opened people up to see who I am, to feel me, to know me, because I am a very closed off person. Surprisingly, um, I'm more to myself, and I feel like my book opens me up, my podcast opens me up, my TikTok opens me up. Doing spoken word, doing things that I truly love opens this world up, and people are seeing me and understanding me and they're feeling me, and it's amazing. And I just want to keep that going. And this is why I have to take myself more serious. I got to put myself in positions and open these doors where I'm like, okay, I'm doing what I love. What's next? How can I top this? Where else can I go? What other doors can I open? Um, and how can I also do all of this while still enjoying my life, while still, you know, chasing my other dreams and making sure I don't, deflect on this, or that I still spend time with my family, that I still spend time with my friends, that I'm, finding love and falling in love, and that I'm, one day building a family and having a family and getting married and, having careers. Like, everything is just like you want to achieve so much in life that you're looking for. How can I just find happiness and peace in every single thing that I want? And that's why I'm working on myself. And again, 100% shout out to therapy, but also 110% shout out to God. So again, the title of this episode is God is the funniest person I know. And again, all of this happened in one day. In July 24th, all of this came about, which 2 4 2, it's probably ironic because 2 is my favorite number, and then 4 divided by 2 is 2. Um, Came up with the title for the podcast, came up with the title for the episode of the podcast, um, came up, finding things that I want to do, finding peace. And I was like, something is off. What have I been doing differently? Um, One, I hadn't updated my room calendar. If you follow me on TikTok, I usually update my calendar every month. I hadn't updated it because I just had so much going on, which doesn't make sense. And I was, that would help me throughout my day. Like I could look over and say, oh, I gotta do this today. I wasn't doing that. One thing I started with my therapist, I started writing a priorities list every week. So write down my priorities. I think I want to say I started doing it in like May or June. And every week I was write down my priorities. Like, okay, so this week I gotta release this episode of this podcast. I gotta edit content. I gotta go to the gym once or twice a week. I gotta post content every week. I mean every day. And then it was like to the point, okay, if I'm not posting content every day and I miss a day, then I gotta double up on the next day. Like this week I'm like, I'm doing no pork. I'm not eating after 11 o'clock. And I'm setting those small goals for myself for a bigger goal, where the bigger goal is I'm not stressed out. I'm closing tabs in my brain, which I notice like a lot of people around my age, we just have an overload of things that we're thinking of that we need to do, and we don't do it because we have so many tabs. It's like a computer. The tabs, we just keep opening more and more tabs, and we're never closing out any tabs. And ironically, light bulb, I had 3 tabs in my phone open for shit, maybe 3 to 4 months, maybe longer than that. One tab was like some Huaraches from Nike. The second tab was a hat that I saw on a New Era hat that I saw on Instagram and I wanted to buy. And the other one was the Renaissance Tiffany necklace that I've been saying I was gonna buy forever. And those tabs, ironically today, I know for a fact I didn't close any of them out. I was on one website looking up the notes from my doctor, closed that out, and then just closed out the internet, went out my business. A couple hours later, opened back up the internet, and all the tabs were gone. And I was like, wait, what? Who the hell? What the app did? And now that I sit and think about it, I'm like, this needed to happen. Granted, it's probably metaphorical. It's probably like, whatever. Um, but in a sense, I'm closing out tabs because I'm so cluttered. And I'm just okay, well, if I keep this open, then I know I gotta do this, and I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And I'm overwhelming myself with so much stuff that I feel like I have to do that I'm not getting any of it done because then I'm like, oh shit, now I gotta do this. Okay, but if I do this, I gotta do that. So I just started writing a priorities list, which came from my therapist. Like I would just, in my week, whatever I knew needed to be done within that week from Sunday to Sunday, whatever needed to be done in that week, I would write it down. And, you get that enjoyment of crossing it off. Like, okay, I did this. Okay, check, did that. Okay, check, I did that. And if it wasn't done by the end of the week, that's fine. You give yourself grace. You don't put so much pressure on yourself. You're not like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, unless it's something that does have a time frame. Things that have a time frame and it needs to get done sooner, you put at the top of your list. Even going out to like I did before, within this month, I need to make sure I do this, this, and this. So it's like I'm setting small goals for myself to complete a bigger goal of now I have a peace of mind. And I'm also getting things done that I know I needed to get done. And I'm, showing myself like I don't need to procrastinate. Like, okay, I kept pushing this off. Like, I don't have to keep pushing this off. I don't have to keep pushing this off. Like, let me just get this shit done, get it out the way. Because pushing it off, if you leave it for tomorrow, then it's gonna be there tomorrow. And then you're gonna leave for the next day. Like, why get done? Just get it done today. Why, what is the quote? Why do tomorrow what you can do today? Just get it done. It just makes it easier because I'm a procrastinator, I've procrastinated my whole life. Got me through high school and college, amen. But I'm pushing it off, and then it's like, then the day comes, and it's like, shit, now I gotta do it. Now I don't have a choice, or I've missed the opportunity to do something, and that is one of my biggest regrets is allowing myself to miss opportunities of things that I needed to get done. In the sense of even, like when you booking a trip and you're like, oh, okay, I could book the flight on Friday, and then you kind of forget, and then you end up gotta book it on Monday, and now the prices went up $200, and you're like, shit, I should have just did it the first time. That's me all the time, and I'm trying to get out of that way where it's like, okay, well, just get it done. And a lot of times I'll get on my phone. You know how you got your phone in your hand and you're like, all right, I'm about to do exactly what I need to do. And then a notification pop up. Your mama sending you a TikTok, and now you got on TikTok and you done went down a rabbit hole and you've been on there for 3 hours. It happens to all of us. And I need to stop doing it. I just need to just go ahead, get things done, but also give myself grace for it. If I don't get it done, it's okay. But if it's something that had a time limit, then I have to deal with that consequence. And all I can do is just be like, all right, fuck it, I gotta deal with it. I can't change it. I have to deal with it. Um, and you live and you learn with things that you do. Sometimes procrastinating and waiting pays off. Sometimes it does not. You just have to realize and figure out what is more important and what needs to be done and taken care of now for you. Sometimes also for other people. Some things you can't push off and wait for because there's somebody else who's intertwined in it. So then, you're thinking of now yourself, because then it's like, do you want to let somebody else down? When it comes to certain things in your life, it's like, okay, well, this is important to me, or it might be important to the other person. Maybe I do need to put this first, you know? Um, so in the midst of my therapist, like, write your priorities list down. That's something I had stopped doing. I was like, I haven't wrote my priorities list in a minute. Another thing I noticed that I hadn't done is went to church. I have not, I hadn't physically been in church. Um, and I was like, okay, I need to go to church. I need to be in church. Like, I want to say last month to church was June. We at the end of July at this point. I hadn't been physically in church. The first week I didn't go to church because I was not in town. The second week, I don't know why I didn't go. Last Sunday, I set the wrong alarm, and then I had to go out for my dad's birthday. Um, so it was just like I wasn't going, and then I had put it in my calendar every week to try to go to therapy. I mean, go to therapy. Well, yes, go to therapy every week. But go to Bible study every Thursday, and I haven't been in the last few Thursdays. One Thursday, my pastor was not there. The other Thursdays, they're now doing like like it was a special family month or whatever. So it wasn't like traditional Bible study. It was just people coming in and talking and stuff. So I was like, oh, I don't want to go to that. But this was something that I had put into my daily routine that I kind of took away from myself. And I felt like I was stepping away from my connection with God. Granted, that might not be a situation, but it's just how I felt at the moment where I had to step back and I'm okay, I feel like I'm overwhelmed and I'm not getting that outlet and I'm not, I'm looking for guidance. And I had literally dropped my sister off to her car, came home after we left the library. I came home and I just laid out on my bed and I took like a deep breath, like breathe in real hard and let it go. And I was like, okay, God, I need some guidance. I need you to let me know what I need to do. Like I felt the tears coming in my eyes. I was like, I just need to figure it out. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't like feeling off. I feel like I'm off my square. And I was like, but I do need to, acknowledge the fact that I do have so many great things going on for me right now. Like literally amazing things. Which I'll share later on before I wrap up. Um, and then it's funny, I just started laughing. I don't know why. Kind of creepy, like in a movie, somebody's like sad and just started laughing out of nowhere. I just started laughing and I was just like, okay. And then I just started, doing stuff, got on my laptop, created some content, had a little story time with my close friends. I was just like, doing things that I've been need to mark off my list. And then the other day, I want to say Tuesday, I think that was Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday, I went, I was listening to like the first 2 weeks of church. And then today, I was like, oh, and I watched the second half of the second week. And I was like, okay, I'm going to watch that. And then I was like, okay, I had to do this outline for this class. Well, a bibliography for this class that I had to revise and redo, whatever. Because, yes, I'm back in school. Yay, me. Um, if Jesus put it on me, I'm going through what he's saying, and then I'll in the future, I have a lot of people don't even know I'm back in school, but I'll touch on where I am, why I'm doing it, and this and that. But I got to leave something to talk about in this episodes. Y'all can't just, I don't want to say the same thing. So stay tuned to hear what I'm going back to school for, why I'm going back to school, and how I was led to that moment. But yeah, so I had to redo a bibliography, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to do that. I'm listening to church, and when I tell you Pastor Hannah is saying every single thing that I had just told myself earlier today. Like, you need to get back on your square. You need to get get your relationship back with God. Like you feeling a little distant and you need help and your guidance is there, but you're not really getting there. It was like, you need to get rid of certain people in your life that are not serving you purpose, people who are holding you back, people who, are telling you, or not telling you, but like not helping you get to where you need to be. You need to, it was about like lusting and the seven deadly sins and the things that, you're doing. It was like, okay, which ones are you doing? Which ones are holding you back? And it was like, stepping away from drinking and smoking. And I'm like, bro, I just said this earlier. I just said this earlier. And this is why I literally said God is the funniest person I know. Like he'll put something in front of me and I'll think it and I'll feel it and then he'll say it to me in either a post on Facebook or something. Like I literally had seen, post on Facebook, post on Instagram. I had literally seen a post that was like, sometimes when life is feeling off, maybe you should fast. Just do a quick fast, mind, body, and soul. Give something up that you don't need, something that you feel like is holding you back. And when you do that, also, praying to get deliverance and everything. And I'm reading comments, people like this, always helps me and it always clears my mind. And I kept saying I wanted to do like detoxing once a month to kind of clear out all the bad, just like toxins in general from food and drinks and everything. And I'm like, that was a sign. And then I watch Girlfriends very often. I love, 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 love late 90s, early 2000s TV shows. Those are my guilty pleasures. They make me happier than ever. Like, those just make me so, so, so happy. So I was watching Girlfriends, and it was the episodes, the season where Joan was trying to decide if she wants to date her actor boyfriend Ellis or his agent Brock. And Tony came in and Joan was like cleaning up and she's like, I can't find my bacon pan or something like that. And Tony was like, Joan, are you good? And she was like, yeah, I just really can't find this pan. She's like, Tony was like, no, the thing that's wrong with you is your house is not in order. And Joan was like, what are you talking? What? She's like, right, I'm looking for this pan. And she was like, no, not your literal house, like the things in your life, your mind is not in order. And because that's not in order, you can't seem to get anything right because you're not in order. And I said that earlier to my sister, and I said to my mom, and I was like, because we're in the process of, packing things up, trying to move, get things out of, and then when you're packing, shit's everywhere. So I'm just like, this is it. Like I'm not in order at home, and I go into my room and I'm like, my little piece of heaven. But then I look around, I'm like, okay, I probably need to pack because my room is not packed. I think I'm still staying here. And God willing, our new house is on the way in Jesus' name. I'll give it to Him and all Him. Put y'all prayers on that. But said that, and I was like, that had stayed in my mind for a minute. I was like, my house is not in order. I'm like, I'm not in order, even like not the physical being of my house, but me mentally and physically, I'm not in order. I feel off and what do I do when I'm off? Whenever I'm off, I always watch church if I don't go to church that previous Sunday. I always watch church. When I was working, I would always, if I don't go to church on Sunday, I would be by Wednesday at the latest, I was watching service while I was working. And I kept saying I was gonna watch service, and then I forgot, and I was doing something because the last few weeks I've been super busy, but busy by my default because I've been doing stuff or not saying no, I can't go, or agreeing to do this or agreeing to do that, or hanging out with this person, hanging out with that person, and I was like, that's throwing me off. This is my routine, and I'm not doing this anymore. I had missed 3 weeks of church, and I hadn't watched a single piece of an episode. I mean, not an episode, but a streaming. And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm off. I haven't been to Bible study, which I had gotten to kind of a weekly routine of going in person every Thursday to go and watch. If not every Thursday, every other Thursday. And I'm like, I had not done that. I hadn't physically stepped foot in the church for almost about a month at this point. And now I'm like, okay. And like, granted, I don't hold myself against it every time. It's not like I don't force myself. Like if I don't go in person, I'm not like a terrible person. I'm like, okay, that's okay. As long as I watch it though. Like that's my connection. I need to hear the word. I need to feel it. And a lot of times when just like today, when I hear it, it always connects in my life in some way, shape, or form. So I'm always listening to it exactly when I need to hear it. And I feel like that's God working. So me going to church Sunday would have been good. I would have heard what needed to be heard, but I wouldn't have felt it or connected to it the same as I just did today on July 24th, because today I'm feeling something different. I'm seeing things differently. I'm saying things that I want to change. And then later on, I'm watching church at 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm directly connected to everything that's been said. Again, God is the funniest person I know. Who else would have come up with something so perfect to help me get back to where I needed to be? And I'm just praying like, God, what do I do? And I'm like, I'm off. And this got me back on. This literally led me to recording a podcast. This led me to getting that homework assignment done and completed and preparing for it, completing the essay by 11:59 p.m. tonight. Got me to write, this week's priorities list. Got me, I finally, my wall calendar, I erased, it had been saying June 2024. I went ahead and erased it and I just put the rest of July, all of August, and I felt peace. And I was like, the little things in my life that bring me peace, I wasn't doing. I wasn't doing the little bits and pieces that make me feel whole because I was too busy doing everything else. Or I was too tired from a long day. Or hell, in the past month, I can literally say in the past 24 days, I came home at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning at least 10 of those days just from being outside. Then we had the storms and then, power going out. It was just a lot happening. The government and Biden stepping down and Kamala running for president and this lipoma being removed and me having to sit down from like side effects from medicine and celebrating birthdays. I went to the Chosen Few picture with my daddy. Like I had so much going on that I wasn't taking a moment to actually sit down and do the things that I need to do to keep Jasmine. And I'm still me. I'm still feeling good, but it's like I'm starting to the point like, okay, I'm dwindling down. What's going on? And I had to realize, okay, we need to revamp. We need to make better decisions. We need to start saying no to certain things. We need to, if we do go somewhere, and if I do decide to have a drink or two, just limit it to a drink or two. Set those boundaries within myself where it's like, okay, I'm doing this, but I'm going home at this time. I'm leaving at this time. I'm not staying here super late. I don't want to stay here super late. Um, I'm sorry I can't make this event. I need to do this for myself. And granted, in the midst of all of it, I was still getting homework done. By the grace of God, B's get them degrees. I finished my English class. Finished one of my classes with a B because that was my English class. Finished that class with a B. Praying I finished this English class and this essay out the way with a great degree. Great grade as well. Um, but it was like, I was doing certain things that I knew, again, somebody else's timeline. Like, this has to be done. This is detrimental to um, my college career. I need to make sure this gets done. But then it's like, okay, well, it's still summertime. I'm still having fun. I'm still doing something. I'm still doing that. And granted, can enjoy life, can have fun. And a lot of the times I was still busy with other things. I did I don't think this was in July. I was going to say when I did bartending, but that wasn't in July. But I did do in May because it was May and July were just busy. Outside of me going on my trip early of July, in May I went and I did the spoken word with the band behind me. I did two of those in May, and I was doing this and I was doing that. I just had so much going on that a lot of times I wasn't, keeping up with me. Like I'm doing things for me and around me and, for people in my life who I got to support and be there for. Like in May, I went to Arizona for my best friend's 30th. We surprised her. So it was just like, it was a lot going on, but I still wasn't doing things that I knew I needed to do to keep me, me. to keep me on my square. Um, and tonight I needed that. I needed that to lead me to be able to write, to do this podcast, to be able to say, this is going to be the name change. I'm going to rebrand this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I need to write out my calendar. So, my physical calendar helps me because one, I don't like being on my phone all the time, but two, sometimes like I don't want to have to walk over to my phone and grab it to see what I had to do today. I like looking at my calendar. Having my priority list gives me that gratification that I did something that needed to be done today. Um, Standing on my boundaries, which is another episode that I want to go over boundaries and how setting boundaries is bettering my life and making me happier. Um, it's just so much happening. I feel like every time I say something to someone or do anything, they can relate to it, which is why I've created this podcast. This podcast is to have other people know and have myself know that I'm not the only one going through shit in life. We're all getting through life together. We're all figuring life out. And I feel like it's just better to know that somebody else who might look like, they have everything going on for themselves and everything is perfect and life is, cheeky and smiley. Sometimes that person might be going through the same exact stuff that I'm going through. And I learned that with a lot of my friends. Like one thing that I did that I'm very proud of that I'm going to continue to do um, until I can't screenshot or write no more messages is in, I want to say this had to be like March or April. I was leaving um, New Life's um, anniversary service, and I got a revelation, and it was like, start a group chat with your female friends that walk by faith, that have a relationship with God, and just start that group chat and send out, motivational text messages every day. Send, Bible verses and get them interacted and them saying and things. And that became something I love to do. And like even the other day, I waited. I didn't realize it was like 5 o'clock, and I hadn't sent a message. I was like, oh my god. So that's something now this has become my routine. And even if nobody, like, some people are active in the messages, but if like, some people will send messages first, but my mission, my job from God was to be the one to send the message and get that word out. No matter what part of the day it is, sending something to just say, you know, hey, I'm here for you. I'm thinking about you. I love you. Have a great day. If that's all I gotta say, that's all I gotta say. If that's what's on my heart, that's what's on my heart. A lot of times I'll find memes or I'll see something that pop up that's relatable and I'll send it to them, and everybody, the people that are in the group chat, are just very appreciative. Like, oh my God, you don't know how much that group chat means to me, that you chose me, because I named it God's favorite. And I named it because I was like, so often, a lot of myself and a lot of my friends, we say we God's strongest soldiers. And I'm like, I don't want to be a soldier no more. I said that last year. Jesus, please don't let me be your strongest soldier. I don't want to be your strongest soldier, Jesus. And I was like, instead, I want to be God's favorite. And I'm his favorite because he brought me to what he's bringing me to, because he knows I can overcome. And he's putting me through things that I'm going through because he knows my strength and that I deserve, and what I will achieve by doing the things that I do. One thing I noticed in church, Pastor Hannah said, or Pastor Glenn said, you nothing that happens in your life God does not give approval for. Even the devil has to ask permission from God before he does anything in your life. And those bad days, those days where there are storms, those days where it feels like nothing's ever going right, God gave the devil permission to have those days, because you need those days to have better days. You need those days to reflect on, I went through this, but now I have this. I remember that one day where it was hell and I was stressed and I was sad and I was going through so much. But then now, those are just days that I remember. Those are not days that I'm living. Those are not days that I feel every day. Those are days that I remember and I can look back on. And God is giving him permission because he knows where he set you up to be. He knows what you're about to have and what you're about to see and what you're about to feel. And sometimes you gotta have those bad days to get the good, which goes back to the good can outweigh the bad, but also sometimes the bad might outweigh the good. But you just gotta find that healthy balance where you are appreciating both sides of it, because nobody wants to live in that perfect weird world where everything is 100% happy and there's nothing bad. Like I've seen like episodes of Charmed in A Good Place where everything was just too good and then it started crumbling apart because you don't have any bad in there, because you can't appreciate the good if you've never had bad. You don't appreciate the success if you've never had struggle. So, you know, you just get to the point where you're just like, okay, I'm grateful for what I've been through. I'm grateful for where I've been, and I appreciate God for putting me in these situations and these positions. And one of my positions was to be able to get in this group chat and just tell, I want to say it's like 20, 24 of us in the group chat, and close female friends, best friends, cousins, people that I know love dearly, that I've had conversations with about God, and that we've had conversations about, religion, or, they've been inspirational for me, or I've been inspirational for them. And it's been like, I really needed this message today. You never know what people are going through. Even the people closest to you, you don't know what anybody is going through. You could go to bed in a house full of your family and relatives, and you don't know what they're dreaming or what they're tossing and turning about at night, or how they're feeling, or if they're sick, if they're well, if they're like mentally, you don't know. So it's just like some days you just need to spread that love, spread that happiness, give people, you know, that piece of calm, because you don't know what one thing you can do or say can change somebody's complete outlook on their day. I'm sending messages when I wake up. So some of my friends are early birds. They be up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll get up to like 12 o'clock. Maybe my 12 o'clock midday message is what they need. You know, it's just like I made a difference. And again, what I've always wanted to do since I was a child, I've always just wanted to have an impact on the world. I just want to make a difference in the best way. And even if I'm not doing it on a global scale, I'm doing it somehow, some way, where I'm connecting to people and letting people know it's okay. Which is why I kept saying, I'm like, I gotta get back to my podcast. This is my platform to connect to people, to relate to people. And before I do everything, and I said I was gonna say this before, when I came in, before I do everything, I pray over it. When I'm coloring hair, I pray over it. when I when I'm driving, going somewhere, I'm praying. When I wrote my book, when I was editing, when I write my poems, when I, do my spoken word, when I start my podcast, I pray over it. And I always ask the Lord to guide me. And so, we have our conversations, me and Jesus, before I do anything. Because I don't want to come out and say the wrong thing. You could get stumbled up in your words, and that's how people get canceled and, etc. Um, I'm like, I always, whatever I do, God, let somebody else feel it. Let it connect to somebody else. And again, I could probably have no listeners. Nobody can ever listen to anything I'm saying. But then at the same time, I'm healing myself. I'm talking things out. I feel like that is a very big thing, is people don't talk things out, which is why I do go to therapy. Therapy helps me have those conversations that sometimes I don't want to have with anybody else. Sometimes I'll wait all week to get it off my chest, because now I can talk to my therapist, and this person who is licensed to respond back to me can give me her insight and her feed, and help me get through what I'm going through. Sometimes I got to get to the point where I got to talk to not get to the point, but I get to that, like, I need to talk to my friend. I need one of my friends to hear this. I need somebody else to make sense of this, because you can't get through life on your own. If you were meant to get through life on your own, you wouldn't have family, you wouldn't have friends, you wouldn't have coworkers, you wouldn't have anything, you wouldn't have God, you wouldn't have anything. It would be one person sitting here. He wouldn't have created so many different people who have so many different talents, who love differently, who have different empathy, who have different sympathy, who's mean, who's happy. You wouldn't have so many people on this earth if you were not meant to, have these people in your life. Everybody goes down different paths, and everybody goes through different things and different processes, and you need that guidance from other people who go through different things. I want to be around people who, yes, I want to be around like-minded people who believe in the same things I believe in, but I want to be around people who've been through different things that I've been through. I want to be around people who are successful in their field, or who have done things that they've always dreamed of, and people who can help me and guide me and say, well, this is what I did. this is what worked for me, but it also wasn't perfect. You know, you gotta surround yourself with people who can make a difference in your life in the best way possible. And I pray that I do that for people who listen to my podcast, who read my book, who watch my TikToks, who read my morning message or everything. I want that to be something that helps people. And I just want to make an impact. And it's so many more topics and so many more things that I can say that I want to talk on, which leads to so many more episodes. There's so much more I can talk about with myself at 3 o'clock in the morning. Believe me. And this helps me unload, and then my unloading is helping somebody else. They uploading what I'm unloading, and it's changing their day. It's one thing I might have said that you heard that you're like, I'm gonna take that with me. I'm gonna listen to that. Or even a lot of people, when I would say I was going to therapy, a lot of people took that with them and had questions about it. A lot of people that I introduced to my church started going there and wanted to, listen in, do like, it's just so much that I feel like, and again, even if I'm not doing anything for a lot of people, or I'm doing it for one person, or I haven't done it for a person yet, or that person hasn't been sent my way yet, I'm still making some type of impact, and I'm doing it for myself. I'm feeling this for me. I feel better. I feel lighter. I feel happier, and I'm grateful. And then for all of this to happen the day before I'm celebrating the 10-year anniversary of my friend passing, it's like, now I have in a moment of sadness where grief will probably overcome, I have something to be happy about. I did this going into his 10-year anniversary. I did this where I'm like, okay, well, now I'm talking about this and I'm talking about that. And grief is the episode I want to talk on, and boundaries and loving yourself. And it's just so much that I know that me saying can help other people as much as it helps myself. So that's why we are rebranding and we are changing the name from My Thoughts of Podcast to J to dot dot dot. I'm not 100% sure yet. I can't decide, but I got some shit. I got some shit to say, and I want to say it, and I want you to feel it, and I want you to love it, and I want you to share it and repost it and follow me on all social media platforms. I truly thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being patient with me. Be on my heels about posting new content and releasing new episodes. I am grateful for every single listener that is listening, for every single person that is sharing, for every single person that comes to me. And even if you don't publicly, not give me praise, but publicly say anything good, I thank you for even privately coming to me and letting me know the impact and the difference that I'm making in your life and in your day. With all things, like I said, I love you guys so much, and have a great day. Bye. Tune in next week or the week after that, or the week after that. Either way, I'll be back. Bye.